Hello viewers, good morning. Myself I am K. Bhaskar, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, working at SRR Government Arts and Science College, Karimnagar. In this video I am going to give a presentation on the topic carboxylic acids and their derivatives. You know, in our last video presentation we covered certain topics related to carboxylic acid. We have covered the definition of carboxylic acids, classification of carboxylic acids, as well as certain preparations of carboxylic acids, nomenclature of carboxylic acids. Now in this video presentation we are going to discuss about the special preparation methods of aromatic carboxylic acids, as well we are going to cover certain properties of carboxylic acids, right? Coming to the learning outcomes, by the end of this video session we are going to learn the special methods of preparation of aromatic carboxylic acids, and what is the concept of acidity, and what are the factors affecting the acidity of carboxylic acids, and finally, if time permits, we will also cover certain properties of carboxylic acids. So these are the learning outcomes of our present video presentation, right? You know, carboxylic acids are nothing but these are the organic compounds which contains at least one carboxylic group in them are called as carboxylic acids. And here if you look at the structure of the carboxylic acid, it consists of a carbonyl functional group as well as hydroxy functional group. So our carboxylic acid compounds, apart from carbonyl and hydroxy properties, they exhibit distinctive properties due to the interaction of these two functional groups in our carboxylic acid, right? And we have already seen the classification of carboxylic acids based on the nature of alkyl part in the carboxylic acids. If our alkyl group is aliphatic in nature, then those are called as aliphatic carboxylic acids. If the alkyl group is aromatic in nature, then those are called as aromatic carboxylic acids, right? And you should not confuse here the right side one, it should correctly called as aryl substituted carboxylic acids. Even though it is having aromatic ring in it, it should not be considered as aromatic carboxylic acids, because in this the carboxylic acid functional group is not directly attached to the aromatic ring, so they are correctly called as aryl substituted carboxylic acids, right? Coming to the special preparation methods of aromatic carboxylic acids, right? So this is the first method by which we can prepare the aromatic carboxylic acids, that is by the oxidation of alkyl benzene. You see here, any alkyl group attached to the aromatic ring can be oxidized to carboxylic acid functional group using the oxidizing agents like potassium permanganate in presence of base medium, or we can also prepare the desired benzoic acid product by using the potassium dichromate in presence of acid medium or in presence of dilute nitric acid. So these are the three various oxidizing agents with which we can convert the alkyl chain connected to the benzene ring to the carboxylic acid. So here the beauty of the reaction is whatever the alkyl group attached to the ring, that is benzene ring, will be converted to carboxylic acid functional group. Whether the alkyl group is methyl or ethyl or propyl, whatever the length of the chain, it will be simply converted into carboxylic acid functional group in this reaction. And you can see here the second example is a paraxylene. Xylene is nothing but it is a benzene compound attached to two methyl groups. If the benzene is attached to only one methyl group, that is called as toluene. If it is attached to two methyl groups, then it is called as xylene. Here it is a paraxylene, and here in this paraxylene you can see there are two alkyl moieties attached to the benzene ring. These two alkyl groups are converted to two carboxylic acid groups by using the above mentioned oxidizing agents, that is potassium permanganate in presence of base, or potassium dichromate in presence of acid medium, or dilute nitric acid. These two alkyl groups are converted to carboxylic acid functional group, and you can see here the product formed is called as terephthalic acid. If the two COH groups are in ortho position, then it is called as phthalic acid. If the two COH groups are in meta position to one another, then it is called as isophthalic acid. If they are para to each other, then that is called as terephthalic acid. So these are three isomeric dicarboxylic acids, right? Phthalic means iso, phthalic acid means ortho to each other, isophthalic means meta to each other, terephthalic means para to each other. So in this way, if more than one alkyl side chains are present on a benzene ring, in this reaction each alkyl chain is converted to carboxylic acid, right? Coming to the second method, that is by Friedel-Crafts reaction, right? You know, here Friedel-Crafts reaction is an example of electrophilic substitution reaction. You can see here the benzene undergoes Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction, in which we have taken here carbonyl chloride, right? In this carbonyl chloride, in presence of anhydrous aluminum trichloride, this anhydrous aluminum trichloride is the catalyst which is used to generate the required electrophile. So the formed acyl acid chloride electrophile formed in the reaction will undergo substitution at one position to give the product, that is benzoyl chloride. So this is an example of Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction. So in this we get benzoyl chloride as the product, right? This is an example of electrophilic substitution reaction. The formed benzoyl chloride will undergo hydrolysis to give benzoic acid as the product, right? So in this reaction we should take carbonyl chloride as the excess reagent, otherwise the formed benzoyl chloride will undergo further Friedel-Crafts reaction with the second mole of benzene to give benzophenone as the product, right? This is a note you should remember here, that in this reaction we should take carbonyl chloride as the excess reagent, otherwise benzophenone will be formed in this reaction, right? This is what about the preparation of benzoic acid, that is aromatic carboxylic acid, right? Coming to the third preparation method, that is by hydrolysis of benzo trichloride. You see here the compound taken here, it is a toluene, in which the benzene is connected to methyl group. So here in this there is we have performed the chlorination reaction on the side chain of the alkyl group, that is methyl group. If you perform this chlorination reaction, that is by taking chlorine in presence of any Lewis acid like anhydrous aluminum trichloride, then chloronium electrophile will be generated, which will participate in electrophilic substitution reaction on benzene ring. That means the chlorination takes place on the aromatic ring. But whereas here in our case we are performing the chlorination reaction in presence of light or in presence of heat, there is no question of generating electrophiles, right? In this just free radicals are generated, because here the condition is light. We have not used the aluminum trichloride catalyst. If we use the aluminum trichloride as the catalyst for this reaction, then the chloronium electrophiles will be generated, which will undergo substitution on benzene ring. But whereas here the chlorination is taking place in presence of light, so we will get free radicals. So thereby the chlorination takes place on the side alkyl carbon. So you can see here 3 hydrogen atoms on the methyl are replaced by the chlorine atoms to get benzo trichloride, right? So simply in a single sentence we can say that in presence of light, chlorination takes place at side alkyl chain, whereas in presence of Lewis catalyst, electrophiles are generated and the electrophilic substitution takes place on the benzene ring. Right, now you got clear idea? Yes. So this formed benzo trichloride product in the first step will undergo hydrolysis to give the trihydroxy compound in which the 3 Cl atoms are replaced by hydroxy groups. This is a nucleophilic substitution reaction in which chloronucleophiles are replaced by 3 hydroxy nucleophiles to get a trihydroxy compound as the product. And you see here the 3 hydroxy groups are on the same carbon. Such type of trihydroxy compounds are called as geminal type. Those geminal trihydroxy compounds are unstable, which on heating loses water molecule to give benzoic acid as the product. This is what about the reaction of hydrolysis of benzo trichlorides. Right? Coming to the last preparation method, that is by Kolbe reaction. You know, Kolbe reaction, the reactant is phenol. The phenol hydroxy group is attached to a benzene ring. This is called phenol. In presence of base, it loses H plus ions to form salt, that is sodium phenoxide ion. This sodium phenoxide ion, in this the O minus is a electron excessive group. It is electron donating group. So thereby the ring becomes active, which will undergo nucleophilic substitution on carbon dioxide to give the trihydroxy compound. Sorry, it is not a trihydroxy compound, it is a spelling mistake. Here we will get the sodium salt of orthohydroxy carboxylic acid, that is sodium salt of salicylic acid is formed, which will hydrolysis to give salicylic acid as the product. Here the carboxylic acid is obtained at the ortho position of the hydroxy group, or we will also get a para substituted product in this reaction. That means ortho salicylic acid and para salicylic acid, 2 products will be obtained in this reaction. So in this way, in Kolbe's reaction, when phenol is subjected to carbon dioxide in presence of base medium, we will get a carboxylic acid group at ortho position or at para position. The compound will call it as a salicylic acid, ortho or para salicylic acid. So in this way, these are the special methods to prepare the aromatic carboxylic acids. Right? Coming to the physical properties of carboxylic acid, if you see the first physical property, that is solubility, the carboxylic acids, if you see, they dissolve in water due to their polar nature. And here if you look at this, there is a chance, there is a probability to form hydrogen bond between the oxygen atom of the carboxylic acid group and the hydrogen atom attached to the water molecule oxygen atom. Right? So in the red color you can see that is the hydrogen bond. The condition for a hydrogen bond is the hydrogen atom should be attached to the electronegative group, like sulfur, nitrogen, oxygen. Whenever a hydrogen atom which is directly attached to the electronegative group, there is a chance to formation of hydrogen bond with the other electronegative atom. You see here there is a hydrogen bond between the carboxylic acid group and water molecule. So due to this hydrogen bonding, the carboxylic acids easily soluble in water, but the condition is the size of the alkyl chain. If the number of carbon atoms in the carboxylic acid is less than 4, then the carboxylic acids will easily soluble in water. But as the size increases, the alkyl chain increases, then the non-polar nature of the carboxylic acid increases, thereby the solubility decreases. So this is what about the solubility. So in one sentence we can say that the carboxylic acids soluble in water, that is polar solvents, due to the formation of hydrogen bonding. But the carboxylic acids having carbons more than 5 will soluble to less extent in water due to the increase in the non-polar nature, which is due to the increase in the alkyl chain. right? This is what about the solubility. Coming to the boiling point, you know, the carboxylic acids having same molecular weight similar to that of corresponding alcohols will have more boiling point because which can be explained based on the formation of dimers in carboxylic acids. From the picture you can see the dimeric form of carboxylic acids, right? Generally carboxylic acids exist in dimeric form due to the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding, that means the hydrogen bonding between the two molecules, between two different molecules, are called as intermolecular hydrogen bonding, whereas the hydrogen bonding which is generated within the molecule is called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Here in this case we will call it as a intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Due to this intermolecular hydrogen bonding, it exists as dimer form, thereby the molecular weight increases, so thereby its boiling point increases. So in this way, based on the formation of dimers in carboxylic acids, we can explain its boiling point. And if you look at the boiling points of various carboxylic acids, you will come to know that the carboxylic acids having a even number of carbons in them will exhibit a high boiling point. This is because in those carboxylic acids having even number of carbon atoms, if you look at their arrangement, the carbon atoms are in opposite direction, they are in zigzag manner, so there is a possibility of close packing in them in the crystalline structure. So due to the opposite direction of the methyl groups in the carboxylic acids having even number of carbon atoms in them, there is a possibility of close packing, so thereby its boiling point increases, right? This is what about the boiling point. Coming to the acidity. What is acidity? Right? It is a property of the compound to lose H plus ions, to liberate H plus ions in presence of base is called acidity. And if you look at here, our carboxylic acids also loses H plus ions, liberates H plus ions in presence of base, and they form anion, that is a carboxylate anion, which is a stable carboxylate anion. So according to our definition, the carboxylic acid compound is an acid. According to our general definition, whichever the compound loses H plus ions in presence of base and form stable anion, then that compound is said to be acidic, right? And here the acidic strength of the compound depends on the stability of the anion formed in this reaction, right? So here the strength of the carboxylic acid depends on the stability of the carboxylate anion formed by losing H plus ion in presence of base, right? So in a single sentence we can say that the compound which loses H plus ions in presence of base and which forms a stable anion are called as acids, and the strength of the acid depends on the stability of the anion formed during this reaction, right? So the easy with which the compound loses H plus ions, then the compound is said to be strong acid, right? And you can see here, just now we are saying that the carboxylic acid, our compounds are acids, that means they loses H plus ions in presence of base. You can see here in the reaction, our carboxylic acid, that is COOH group, in presence of base, it has lost H plus ion to form an anion, that is carboxylate anion, which is a stable one. How to explain this stability of the formed carboxylate anion, right? Now let us try to explain the stability of the formed carboxylate anion based on the certain criteria. If you look at the resonance structure of the carboxylic acid, you see in the black color the first compound, the hydroxy group having oxygen atom lone pair has been shifted to the carbonyl group, So thereby we will get the second resonance structure. In the second resonance structure, you can see here the hydroxy group oxygen carrying positive charge. You know, oxygen is a more electronegative atom, but here in the second resonance structure, the oxygen carrying positive charge. That means it is somewhat less stable. So based on this resonance structure 2, we can easily say that our carboxylic acid, it loses H plus ions to get stability, right? You can see clearly from the second resonance structure. In the second resonance structure, there is a positive charge on the more electronegative atom of the oxygen, that is in hydroxy group. There is a positive charge on oxygen. This is not fair situation where the electronegative oxygen atom is carrying positive charge, so thereby it attracts the electron pair from the adjacent sigma bond, so thereby the H plus, the hydrogen atom, becomes weak. In presence of base, it is easily lost during the neutralization reaction. So based on the resonance structure 2, we can say that our carboxylic acids are acidic in nature, right? And coming to the stability of the carboxylate anion, just now we told that whichever the compounds form stable anion and loses H plus ions in presence of base are called as acidic compounds, and the strength of the acid depends on the stability of the formed anion. So here now let us try to explain the stability of carboxylate anion. In the second situation, you see here the resonance structures in blue color, that is 1 and 2. These are the resonance structures for carboxylate anion. You see here the oxygen carrying negative charge has been transferred to the C double bond O group. Thereby we will get the second resonance structure. If you look at the 1 and 2 resonance structures, this is equivalent to the resonance hybrid of carboxylate anion, that is dotted lines. So here the minus charge will resonate between the two oxygen atoms, right? And here the first and second resonance structures are nothing but equivalent resonance structures. Equivalent resonance structures means the resonance structures having same bond connections. If you look at the first resonance structure, in this the carbon atom is connected to one alkyl group, one double bond O, one single bond O minus. Similarly, in the second resonance structure, the carbon atom is connected to one alkyl group, one double bond O, one O minus. So in these two resonance structures, the carbon is connected to same groups. Connections are same in 1 and 2 structures. Such type of resonance structures are called as equivalent resonance structures. This is very important resonance structures, that is equivalent resonance structures, which we will see in the coming slides. It's what is its importance, right? So this is very important, that is equivalent resonance structures. Equivalent resonance structures are more stable. What I am saying? Equivalent resonance structures are more stable. So here our carboxylic acids loses H plus ions to form carboxylate anion, and the carboxylate anions are very stable, which we can explain based on the equivalent resonance structures. Even though the structures are two, but they are equivalent in nature. So here equivalent resonance structures are more stable than the all other resonance structures. So our carboxylate anion formed in this is very stable, which we can explain based on the equivalent resonance structures you can see here. So therefore our carboxylic acids are strong acids than other compounds, other acids in organic area, right? In organic chemistry, if you see, the carboxylic acids are the strong acids, then followed by alcohols. And the equivalent resonance structures in the carboxylate anion formed in the previous, you can see here the equivalent resonance structures 1 and 2. The equivalent resonance structures formed in the carboxylate anion can be proved based on the X-ray diffraction studies. Based on the X-ray diffraction studies, we can explain the formation of equivalent resonance structures in carboxylate anion. If you see, if there is no equivalent resonance structures in the carboxylate anion, then in the carboxylate anion we should see two type of bond lengths between the carbon and oxygen atom. Here you see, in case of C double bond O, the bond length is very less, it should be 1.23 angstroms, whereas in case of C single bond O minus, it is a single bond, therefore the bond length should be very large compared to the previous case, that is 1.36 angstroms. It should have two types of bond lengths, but in our carboxylate anion the bond length is 1.27 angstroms, which we can explain based on the equivalent resonance structures. So this is an evidence that the carboxylate anion exhibits equivalent resonance structures can be proved based on the X-ray diffraction studies, right? Coming to the acidic strength of carboxylic acids and alcohols. You know, in these two type of compounds, that is in carboxylic acids as well as in alcohols, if you look at the functional group, in alcohols the functional group is hydroxy functional group. Same, the hydroxy functional group is also present in our carboxylic acid functional group, but here the two compounds will not exhibit equal acidity. Even though the carboxylic acid is also having hydroxy group similar to that of alcohols, but our carboxylic acids exhibits higher acidity compared to the alcohols. For example, we can explain this statement, that is carboxylic acids are strong acids compared to the alcohols, even though our carboxylic acid is having same hydroxy functional group in it, which we can explain based on taking two examples, that is carboxylic acid as well as alcohol, that is aromatic alcohol. Here I have taken, that is phenol. So any compound which loses H plus ions in presence of base and forms anion which is stable, then that compound is called as acid, and its acidic strength depends on the stability of the anion formed. And now, in order to compare the acidic strength of these two compounds, that is carboxylic acid and phenol, here we should compare the stabilities of the formed anion, that is carboxylate anion and as well as phenoxide ion. If we compare the stabilities of these two anions, then we can decide the stability of the carboxylic acid and as well as phenol. Now let us try to compare the stabilities of carboxylate anion and as well as phenoxide ion. You see, in case of carboxylate anion, this carboxylate anion will form two structures, two resonance structures, but those are of equivalent in nature. That means carboxylate anion will form equivalent resonance structures, whereas our phenoxide ion will form four resonance structures. Four resonance structures. You can see in the screen clearly, you can see the phenoxide ion is forming four resonance structures. But actually one may think that the higher the resonance structures, the more the stability, but it is not true. Actually the stability of the resonance structures depends on six rules. The first rule is the number of resonance structures increases, then its stability increases, but the condition is the resonance structures must be of similar type. The resonance structures must be of similar type. You can see here we are comparing the stability of the resonance structures of two dissimilar compounds. One is carboxylate anion, another one is phenoxide anion. So in this case, this rule will not work, because the first rule is the number of resonance structures increases, then the stability of the resonance structure increases. The condition is the resonance structures must be of same type. Right? The second rule is equivalent resonance structures are more stable than non-equivalent resonance structures. The second rule is equivalent resonance structures are more stable than non-equivalent resonance structures. You see here our carboxylate anion forming the equivalent resonance structures, whereas phenoxide ion, the resonance structures are non-equivalent. What are equivalent and non-equivalent resonance structures? How to identify whether the given resonance structures are equivalent or non-equivalent? Based on the bond connections. You see, in the case of phenoxide anion, in the first case we are having carbon attached to O minus, whereas in the second case there is a C double bond O and the minus charge is shifted to the ring. So there is no same bond connections in first and second structure, as well as 3, 4, all you can see there is a difference in the bond sequence, whereas in carboxylate anion in the first and second structure the bond connections are same. That means carbon is attached to alkyl C double bond O, 1 CO minus, whereas in second resonance structure also same connections, 1 alkyl group, 1 C double bond O, 1 CO minus, right? So in this way, if the connections are same, then the resonance structures are called as equivalent resonance structures. So based on the second rule, we can say that the carboxylate anion is very stable compared to the phenoxide ion. So thereby we can say that the carboxylic acids are more acidic than the alcohols, that is phenol, right? So in this way, by deciding the stability of the anion, we can compare the strength of the acidic compounds, right? We can compare the acidities of the given compounds, right? So the third rule in resonance structures is the resonance structures without charge separation are more stable than the resonance structures with charge separation. This is third rule. The fourth rule is the resonance structures with single charge are more stable than the resonance structures with two charges, that is charge separation. And the fifth rule is in the resonance structures, if there is a negative charge on the more electronegative atom are more stable than the positive charge present on the more electronegative atom. That means in the resonance structure, the negative charge on the more electronegative atom like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur are more stable than the resonance structures in which positive charge is there on the more electronegative atoms. This is fifth rule. Coming to the sixth rule, minus charge on the less electronegative atoms like carbon are less stable, right? This is what the rules for deciding the stability of the resonance structures. Now let us try to discuss the effect of substituents on the acidity of carboxylic acids, right? We know that the carboxylic acids are acidic in nature because of the stabilization of the carboxylate anion, right? The carboxylate anion is more stable, which we have already discussed, due to the sharing of negative charge between the two oxygen atoms via resonance structures we have seen in the previous slides. Yes. So any factor which can increase the sharing of negative charge on the carboxylate anion will increases the acidity of the compound, right? Thus, electron donating group, electron releasing substituents, that is D, you can see in the red color, right? The electron releasing substituents would increase the negative charge on the carboxylate anion, thereby there is a increase in the charge instead of decrease. Instead of sharing, here there is a increase in the charge, negative charge on the carboxylate anion, so thereby here destabilize the carboxylate anion, and thus there is a decrease in the acidity of the parent acid. Whereas in case of blue color, you see if electron withdrawing groups like W would easily share the negative charge which is on the carboxylate anion, due to this disperse of the negative charge, the stability of carboxylate anion increases, and thus the acidity of the parent acid increases, right? So with this we can say that due to the presence of electron donating groups, there is no sharing of negative charge on the carboxylate anion, there is no dispersion of a negative charge on the carboxylate anion, therefore it is unstable, and there is a decrease in the acidity of the parent acid. Whereas if there is a electron withdrawing group substituents, then they will decrease the negative charge and hence stabilizes the carboxylate anion and thus increases the acidity of the parent acid, which we will discuss with the suitable examples, right? You can see here in the first case, formic acid, acetic acid, propionic acid. You see here the acidity of formic acid is greater than the acetic acid, and acetic acid is a strong acid than the propionic acid, because here since the alkyl groups are electron releasing groups, due to their presence on the carboxylate groups, they will decrease the acidity, right? In general, greater the length of the alkyl chain, lower shall be the acidity of the parent acid. Thus the formic acid is having no alkyl groups, is almost about 10 times stronger than the acetic acid, and the acetic acid which in turn stronger than the propanoic acid, and so on, right? Similarly, you can see the second example in which we have taken the electron withdrawing group, that is halogen group, chloro group. So here the trichloroacetic acid, dichloroacetic acid, monochloroacetic acid, acetic acid. Obviously we can say that as the number of electron withdrawing groups on the carboxylic acid increases, the stability of the carboxylate anion increases, and thus the acidity of parent acid increase. So thereby we can say that trichloroacetic acid is almost strong acid compared to the other acids. In this way, if you look at the order, the decreasing order of the acidic strength, the trichloroacetic acid is stronger than the dichloroacetic acid, which is stronger than the chloroacetic acid, which is stronger than the acetic acid, right? Coming to the comparison of acidity of aromatic carboxylic acids with the aliphatic carboxylic acids. Here I have taken in the first example, you see benzoic acid and as well as acetic acid. In benzoic acid, due to the presence of aromatic ring, the stability of the carboxylate anion increases, right? So thereby it is more acidic than the aliphatic carboxylic acids, right? Aromatic carboxylic acids are more stronger than aliphatic carboxylic acids, right? Now if we discuss the effect of substituents on aromatic carboxylic acid, that is benzoic acid, due to the presence of electron withdrawing group on the benzene ring, it decreases the negative charge on the carboxylate anion, thereby its acidity increases. Due to the presence of electron releasing substituents, that is electron donating substituents, it will increase the negative charge, intensify the negative charge on the carboxylate anion and thus destabilizes it, and thereby decreases the acidity of parent benzoic acid, right? So this is what we can say, that due to the presence of electron donating groups, the carboxylic acid's acidity decreases. Due to the presence of withdrawing groups on the benzene ring, then the acidity of the parent benzoic acid increases. Now you can see here I have taken the example for each. The first one is an example of a benzoic acid having a electron withdrawing group substituent. Here the electron withdrawing group substituent is nitro group. Obviously we can say that the nitro group is an electron withdrawing group, its acidity increases when we compare to the parent benzoic acid. But here if you look at in detail, the ortho para meta substituted benzoic acid, the ortho substituted benzoic acid is more acidic because this is which we can explain based on the steric endurance. In general, irrespective of the nature of the substituent, ortho substituted benzoic acids are more acidic than isomeric meta and para substituted benzoic acids. This is due to the ortho effect, which can be explained by steric endurance. Because of steric endurance between the two substituents in the ortho substituted benzoic acids, they are more acidic than the isomeric meta and para substituted benzoic acid. So thereby the ortho is more acidic compared to para and meta. In para and meta, the para is more acidic because the substituents which are at ortho and para positions can expect their electronic effects more effective than the substituents which are at meta position, right? So thereby the nitro group which is at a para position can effectively withdraw the electrons from the carboxylate anion, and it stabilizes the corresponding carboxylate anion, and thereby its acidity increases. So in this way, if you look at the order, ortho is more acidic than the para than the meta. Similarly, in case of electron releasing groups like alkoxy groups or hydroxy groups, here you see it is a electron donating group, thereby the stability of carboxylate anion decreases, and thus the acidity of parent benzoic acid decreases. But if you compare the position orientation effect, right, here irrespective of the nature of the substituent, ortho substituted benzoic acids are more acidic, that is ortho is more acidic. In case of meta and para, just now we told that the electronic effects are more effective at ortho and para positions. That means here the para hydroxy group can effectively releases the electrons into the benzene ring, thereby its stability further decreases, its acidity further decreases. So thereby it is having less acidity compared to the meta. So in such cases, ortho is having more acidic nature than the meta than the para. So in this way we can compare the acidity of aromatic benzoic acids, right? Finally, the properties of carboxylic acids. Usually carboxylic acids involve 4 types of reactions, right? In the 4 types of reactions, if you look at each type of reaction, the first one is the reactions involving hydrogen atom of the carboxylic acid group. The second one, the reactions involving hydroxy part, that is OH part of the carboxylic acid group. The third one, which involves the reactions involving the carbonyl part of the carboxylic acid group, and the fourth one, the reactions involving alkyl group of the acid. So thereby our carboxylic acids will undergo reactions in 4 ways. The first one is reactions involving hydrogen atom. Second one, reactions involving hydroxy group. Third one, reactions involving carbonyl part. Fourth one, reactions involving alkyl group of the acid. Finally, the last one, that is important reactions, named reactions, right? Of course, in aromatic carboxylic acids, we can also see the reactions in ring at the ring position also, right? Which we will see in the coming slides, right? Which we will see in the coming, right? Which we will discuss these properties of carboxylic acids in our next video presentation. Okay. Now, if you try to summarize what we have learned in this video presentation, we can say that the carboxylic acids are acidic in nature, and they form stable carbon anion, carboxylate anion. The stability of carboxylate anion can be explained based on the equivalent resonance structures. We have also discussed the rules to decide the stability of various resonance structures. We have covered the special preparation methods of aromatic carboxylic acids, and we have also discussed the effect of substituents on the acidity of carboxylic acids, right? And I think now you are feeling very comfort with the concepts which we have discussed in this video presentation, right? If you have any doubts, please post your doubts, questions in the comment section, and there your questions will be answered. Finally, thank you for going through the video presentation. Nurture the nature for the future. Thank you.